Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Still got a few people joining. So while people are joining, we'll just give everyone a moment. It's really cool to see so many of our students continuing to train in our lockdown. So thank you so much, everyone, for continuing to train and practice. And it will show when we get back into the dojo and we get ready for our next grading. Just wondering where I am. There we go. I've joined the meeting now. Okay. Oh, somebody else joining. Up. Go in. Take a look. Raise your right hand and recite the tenets. Shijop, courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. And recite the oath. Stop. I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I shall respect the instructor and seniors. I shall never misuse Taekwondo. I shall be a champion of freedom and justice. I shall build a more peaceful world. Bottom. Okay. With thanks to one of the really keen young guys that we've got in our junior class, he taught himself from our white belt handbook how to fold his uniform. And this is something that we don't get to do often in class because we're all wearing them. So while we're locked in our houses and I've got a couple of uniforms handy, I'm going to show you, for those who don't know, how to fold your dobok. Who knows how to fold their dobok? Wow, I should have a lot more hands up than that. Cohen, awesome. Fantastic. Oh, a few hands up. Good. Okay, so just a reminder for those that do and for those who haven't read the book, to show you. From here, take your trousers, fold them in half this way, and then from here, you fold them into three. Then you take your jacket, spread it out, and you put the trousers with the hem at the top and the top of the jacket in the middle. Then I take the sleeve and the side of the dobok and fold it over the trousers and fold the sleeve back because the sleeve's longer. And then do the same on the other side. Fold it over the trousers and fold it back. Then I take the bottom part of my dobok and fold it up to the top so it's in half. And then fold the bundle in half again. That's the official way to fold the dobok that's shown in the Taekwondo Encyclopedia. What you then do with your belt is you fold your belt in half, put your dobok on top of it, and then tie it in half here. You actually tie it the same way you tie your belt, in that same square knot. Although depending on the length of your belt, it might be pretty hard to do. So there you go. There's a nice, safe, tidy bundle of dobok that you can put in your bag when you're walking to training. Now, one of the things that I often saw them do in Argentina when they carry the dobok is they fold their belt in half, and of course that gives you a loop at one end. They put the dobok on top and thread the loose ends of the belt through the loop, so they can then pick it up and carry the dobok like this. It's a really cool way of carrying the dobok and walking around with it. So a quick reminder once again, trousers folded in half, put them on the ground and fold them in three. Take the jacket, spread it out in front of you. Put the trousers on the top with the hem at the top by the neck of the jacket. Make sure it's nice and flat. Fold the dobok over and fold it back. Take the other side, fold it over the trousers and fold it back. At this point, it looks like this. Then from here, bring the bottom to the top. Do that again. And here's my tidily folded bundle. And then to carry this around, fold my belt in half, put the loose ends through the loop of my belt. Here it is. Or the formal way to tie it is to tie a square knot with your belt in half. The same way, or a reef knot as we call it, the same way you tie it when you're tying your belt. That is how to fold the dobok. Okay. One other little thing for those of you who are school age and are now on holiday, got a little bit of downtime. I've got a project for you, something for you to get your teeth stuck into while you're on holiday. What I'd like you all to do is to research your pattern history. So yellow belt's Dungun, green stripes Dosan, whatever your pattern is, get on a Google, do some research, find out about the meaning of that pattern. Remember, all 24 Taekwondo patterns are named for famous events in Korean history or for famous people. Okay, so there's a real things to research here. Read and learn a little bit more about it. Once you've done your research, I want you to create something that illustrates what you've learned. It might be a poster or a drawing. It might be writing a summary and putting some photographs or pictures in it that you've either drawn or just taken from the internet. It might be a model or some sort of diorama. It might be a video if you're creative and want to learn how to use video a little bit more. So whatever you like, research your pattern and then put together something to show what you've learned in your research. Just something that you can do to spend a little bit of time over the holidays while we're stuck in our houses still, and you'll produce something and learn something really cool about it as well. So once you've done that, if it's a file like a PDF or something, if you've drawn a poster, you can take a photograph, or if you've drawn created a model, then take some photographs of it and email them through to me. I'd love to see what you come up with. So please send those things through. Okay, enough talking. Oh, exams come first. So this is free time, right? So those of you who are high school age students, you're preparing for your final exams, you only get one shot at those. So get those right. So focus on those. But those of you who are sitting around going, oh, Mom, Dad, I'm bored. Well, don't be bored. Do some research and make something cool. Okay, rotating wrists. Change direction. Elbows. Change direction. Arms back. Forwards. Torso. Left ankle. Change direction. Change foot. Change direction. Hands on knees, down and back, down and back, down and back, down and back, down and back. And hands up by your brain, circling your legs outwards. and inwards. Hips. Change direction. Okay. We're going to start off with some push-ups because push-ups are one of the best exercises in the world. So a quick question before we begin. Who can comfortably do 50 push-ups? Who has no problem doing 50 push-ups? Okay. Next question. Who can comfortably do 5 push-ups? Okay, so we won't do 50 push-ups. We'll do 5 push-ups 10 times. And what we're going to do is slight variations in the push-up. So they're all going to be really different. We'll call this home. Okay, this is our home position, straight underneath our shoulders. And then with our different variations, we're going to come in a little bit and then go back home. Then we're going to go out a little bit and come back home. Then we're going to go forward a little bit and then come back home. And then we're going to go back a little bit and then come back home. And then the second time through, we're going to go closer. So instead of coming in one width of our hands, we're going to bring our hands right together like this. And then we're going to come back home. And then we're going to go out 2 and turn our hands sideways and do push-ups like this. These are really cool. And then we're going to come back home. And then instead of going one hand forward from our shoulders, we're going to go 2 hands forward and do push-ups like this. And then we're going to go from our shoulders, 1 hand back, 2 hands back and turn our hands around. So they're down by our waist. Okay, now once we've done that, that's 9 sets. The last one, we're going to see whether we can do it. It's really tough. We're going to lie our body on the ground with our hands up, out like this, and then see whether we can lift ourselves off the ground like that. Okay, if we can't do that, because that's really tough, then what we're going to do instead is we're going to be on our elbows and then push up from our elbows like this. Okay, so that's our 5 push-ups. So first up, everyone's just going to do 5 push-ups with your hands under your shoulders. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Hey. Okay, now with our first one where we go from our shoulders, just come in our 1 hand width like this. So the hands are a little bit closer. And do 5 push-ups. Oh, look, we nailed that one too. Awesome. Okay, now from our home position, we're in our outer hand width. So our hands are a little bit wider. So put your hands under your shoulders, then go out, and then do 5 push-ups. Go. Oh, too easy. Okay, now from our shoulders, we're going to up a little bit. So they're aligned with our face. The hands are aligned with our face. Do 5 push-ups like that. Ready, go. Oh, looks like everyone's nailing that one. Good. Cool. Okay. Next variation. Now from here, from your shoulders, go down the width of your hands. So they're about in line with your chest. Okay, try that. And we're already halfway through. Wow, too easy. Okay, now from here, we're going to bring our hands together. So our thumbs overlap side by side. Okay, now do 5 of those. Good. Some nice push-ups. Okay. Good, everyone's ready? Next one. From here, out 1 width, and then go out another width and turn your hands sideways. So you're doing your push-ups like this. Go. Okay. Nice. These next two are a bit tricky. So from our shoulders, up to where our face is, and then go above our face. So we're doing our push-ups like this, just above our head. Okay, so try that. Nailing it. Why, awesome. Okay, next one from our shoulders, go down one to your chest, and then where your hands are, turn them over so they're down by your belt, but with your fingers pointing towards your toes. Try 5 of those. So far, if you've done all those, that is 45 push-ups. Now, the last one, there's 2 versions. One version is with the elbows up by your face here. You just push up onto your hands this way. The other version is to extend your body out as far as you can and just do little dips. Go. And if you can lie on the ground and lift yourself up from the ground, that's really good. It's called a laying push-up. It's all from your tummy muscles. Lifting yourself up off the ground from lying down on the ground. Just using your core. Once you've done all of those, grab a drink. Okay. I'm now going to give you the same exercise I gave to our kids in the previous class. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to work on your creativity. I want to see how you can put stuff together. 5 minutes to create your own pattern. 5 minutes to create your own pattern. Now, a couple of you have got siblings in the room with you. Okay, so you might be training with your brother or sister. If you're training with your brother or sister or your dad, your optional choice, instead of making up your own pattern, you can create a prearranged free sparring sequence. Okay, so that's where the 2 of you are working together, one attacking, one blocking, and only the last shot hits to finish them off. So there's only one hit. Everything else is evaded or blocked. So you've got 5 minutes to either, if you're by yourself, you're going to make up your own pattern. If you're with somebody else in your room, you've got a choice. You can both make up your own pattern, or you can work together to do a prearranged sequence in your own space. Okay, ready? 5 minutes, go. While you're doing this, I'm just going to pick people to spotlight randomly, just to see who looks like they're putting some good work in. At the end of this, by the way, you're going to demonstrate it. You're going to show everyone what you've done.
Sir?
Yes, Davisha.
Can we give our pattern a name?
You can if you want to. Now, the secret to this, you're going to demonstrate it twice. So don't spend a lot of time putting your sequence together, and then just practice, practice, practice. Okay, make your own sequence. You might take some of your favorite sequences from an existing pattern that you know. But don't be copying too much. I want to see good stances. I want to see good power and good technique. If you're doing a prearranged sequence, work within the space that you've got. Make sure you repeat it a few times so that you know you can do it again. Okay, a couple more minutes. So get into your repetition stage. Okay, 1 minute, then you're demonstrating it. So go through it a couple of times so you're ready to demo. And come on. Okay. Grab a mouthful of water to prepare for your big spotlight moment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put you on gallery and get everyone to demonstrate at the same time. Rather than scrolling through everyone, then you're spending most of the time sitting down. Rather than doing that, I'm going to put everyone on gallery and I'm going to get you to demonstrate your sequence and then stop. And then I'm going to ask you to demonstrate the same thing again and see whether you can do it twice the same way. I'm really impressed so far to see good work on stances and movement. I'm going to whack you on gallery for a couple of questions, a little quiz. So, oh no, I'll ask you the quiz afterwards. Okay, get ready. Everyone get ready for the big moment, demonstrating your pattern or your prearranged sequence with your partner. If you're with a partner, come here. And everybody to be ready for your pattern or your prearranged. 시작! Okay, just waiting for the last couple to finish. If you're finished, come on, baro. There's a couple still going, but you can't see them, so. Okay, all right. Now you're ready for demo number 2. Ready. Same thing again. This time you'll be able to be a little bit sharper, slightly better with your stances, but more precise in your movements. Jimmy. If you're with a partner, face your partner and bow first, of course. Okay, ready. 시작. And come on, battle. Face your partner if you got a partner, to up. Come here. Big thanks to your partner. Okay, now a couple of questions for you. Raise your hand if you managed to do exactly the same sequence both times. Awesome, very good, very good. Okay. For those of you who created patterns, raise your hand if you had some form of symmetry where you did the same thing on the left side and the right side, the way that Dangun or Chonji does. Some of the junior patterns or you've got. Awesome. Cool. Symmetry. A lot of the junior patterns have symmetry. Raise your hand if you did a pattern that didn't have any symmetry. You just did a sequence of movements. Okay, cool. All right. Those of you who did prearranged movements with a partner, raise your hand if you remembered that only the last movement was allowed to hit and everything else had to be blocked or evaded. Good. Awesome. Cool. Raise your hand if in your sequence, whether it was a pattern or prearranged, you used a movement from your own syllabus. Okay, good, good. Raise your hand if you used a movement in your pattern that you have never used before. Okay, cool. Raise your hand if you used a movement from a higher syllabus. Cool. Okay, nice work, guys. Grab a drink. Good stuff. Okay. I'm going to get my noodle. Do a few footwork drills. Then we'll do a little bit of sparring drills. And then we'll move on to some shadow sparring. So everybody up. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Back hands up nice and tight to your jaw. Front hand you can use to create a little bit of space. Just bouncing nice and lightly on your stance. If I swing for your head, dip straight down and come up. Just make sure you keep your torso upright. So bend down, don't bend forward. Bend your knees, drop down and straight back up. Keep that hand up by your face. If I shift forward, if I go straight down with the noodle, you shift sideways and then shift back. If I move, you mirror me. So if I come towards you, you go backwards. If I go backwards, you come forwards. If I go that way, you match me, go the same direction. If I go that way, you go the same direction. If I switch, you switch. So nice and simple to start with. You mirror my direction. So if I go forward, you go backwards. If I go for your head, you duck. If I switch, you switch. If I go straight down, then you shift off to the side and then shift back. That's all we've got to start with. Okay, so ready. Get that guard up. Okay, cool. Now we're going to add to it. Now, if I drop my guard, straight away slide in 2 punches and straight back. As soon as you see my hands come down, boom, boom, and straight back again. If I step forward, I want to see from you your fade away side kick, punch, punch to come back to your place again. So remember, turn the back foot, lean away, yop chagi, step, step, and then back in with your 2 punches. So if my hands come down, you launch in, punch, punch. And if I step forward and open myself up, you do fade away side kick, 2 punches. Ready. That's, of course, added to these. Come on, Tiffany. Okay, cool. I'm going to add one more and I'm going to change one. The one that I'm adding, if the noodle comes straight, you block with your front arm, shift off to the side, and punch with your back hand. So the noodle comes straight at you, it's 1, 2. Variation, if the noodle comes straight down, you're going to shift off to the side and use your front leg for a reverse hook and kick. So instead of going step, step, and back, you're going to go step, kick, and back. Okay, ready? So with that one, your back foot steps forward, so off to the side this way, and then your front foot does the reverse hook and kick and down, then come back. So the back foot opens up, do your reverse hook and kick, and then return to the spot. Okay, ready now. Come on, let's go. Keep the guard up, keep your guard up. Some of you are letting your hands drop. Come on, Nate, don't get soft on me. And come on, good work. Okay, grab a drink of water and a chair. Grab a drink and a chair. Okay. I'm going to give you 3 1-minute rounds against your chair. So you are shadow sparring. You don't hit your chair, you go over your chair, but your chair is your imaginary opponent. So your kicks should all be above your chair. You can shift in. The sorts of things I want you thinking about in particular are pertaining to your footwork. I don't want to see anybody facing their chair forwards like this. The body angle is wrong because my target is too big. I always want you half facing or side facing. So I can shift. I'm always going to stay half facing my chair, unless I'm coming in for those 2 punches and then coming straight back to my stance again. So you're moving around your chair, using the chair as a target, throwing variations of kicks and punches, moving around. You might do your fadeaways, you're slipping in, all sorts of things with range, with that chair as your focal point, with everything above the chair. Now, for those of you that are a little bit shorter, where the chair is too high to kick over, then you kick over to this side. That's no problem. Okay, but I think for most of you, you're strong and flexible enough to kick over the height of the chair, so it's not a problem. Okay, you're going to get 3 1-minute rounds. I'm going to put you on gallery so I can hold the clock. Okay, and your first 1-minute round, prepare. Where's my clock? Here it is. So timer, that's what I want. Drop it down to 1 minute. Okay, your first 1-minute round against your chair. No hitting the chair. Toby, ready. Now, if you do happen to have a partner in your room with you and you're both comfortable doing non-contact, gentle free sparring, because of our limited space in your house, you don't want to break anything. If you're both comfortable with that and parents are comfortable, then you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, do it against the chair. Okay, ready. First 1-minute round. 3, 2, 1, go. Focusing on your footwork and your movements. Nice, Mackay. Lovely. Come on, David, get into it. Get moving around. Good, Jack. Cool. I see a couple of you with the chair in the middle using the same chair. That's excellent. Five seconds left. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And come on. Okay, now, second round, I want everybody to actually use a chair, even if you've got a partner, because I want you focused on your footwork and your movement, not so worried about what your partner's going to do to you. Okay, so everyone use a chair. If there's 2 of you, you can share a chair in the middle and both use the same chair. But I want you focused on your body facing and your footwork and just relaxing with your movements. 10 seconds before round 2 begins. Okay, ready for round 2? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, using that chair. Okay, don't touch the chair at all. It's a focal point for your stances. So think about your body facing. Move around your chair nicely and just watch the body facing. When you turn sideways, don't turn full on. Try and stay half facing or side facing. Nice, Mr. West. Put some sequences together. Try and join some techniques together. I don't know whether it's Sam or Ollie I can see, but make sure you keep your hands up. Keep that backhand by your brain. Don't drop your guard. Mackay, get that backhand up. That's it. Don't let it fall. Come on. Okay, just be careful, Toby. Okay, a little breather. Think about how your body facing and your footwork work. We've just been practicing the sideways movements, the forward and back. Make sure you're using that, but your back foot's moving around a little bit more to go around than a circle around your chair. Try and keep half facing or side facing to your chair, not full facing. Lift your knee so you can kick over your chair every time. Ready for round 3. Round 3, 3, 2, 1, go. Focus on that body facing, lift the knee and foot over the chair. Keep light and relaxed. Try and string some combinations together. And come on. Okay, just watch this way for a moment. I'm going to just give you a little bit of feedback and we'll do one more round, actually. You're doing well thinking about your body facing. That's good. And that footwork moving around, keeping your side or half facing angle to your chair. That's great. I'm seeing good movement with lifting the knees up to get over the chair. That's good as well. The one thing that I want you to think about, I better just think again because it just jumped out of my head. Where was it? Ah, it'll come back to me. Give me a second. Ah, yes. Particularly when you're doing combinations of kicks, I don't want to see anybody kicking from here. Don't let your feet come together like this and try and kick from here. So if I'm doing turning, reverse turning, I don't want to be like this. It looks lovely in patterns, but you don't have mobility from that position, right? So from here, I'm very limited as to what I can do. If anything comes for me, I don't have a lot of mobility. So I always want to have a gap between my feet before I'm kicking. So if I want to throw a combination of movements together here, I'm coming back to this position. I'll either come forward a little bit, or I might go foot to foot and come back so I can do it on the same spot. Whatever it is, always try and kick from a position where you've got space between your feet so you have more mobility. Okay, so I want you in this 4th round, I want you to think in particular about throwing some combinations of kicks and always making sure you've got a gap between your feet, never kicking from a position where your feet are together. Okay, ready for round 4. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So let's see some combinations of kicks this time, but always from space between your feet. Use your pendulum movement to get some space between your feet after you kick. That's okay, Bella, just keep going. You hear what you're doing. Keep that body facing, use that footwork, stay light on your feet. Keep some space between your feet to maintain mobility. Keep your knees a little bit bent, nice and relaxed. Don't touch your chair. I don't want any bills from parents for broken chairs. 20 seconds left. Good, Aaron. Yes, nice work with that feet after you're kicking. Tavisha, watch your body facing. Don't show your tummy to that chair. The chair will get you. And come on. Good work, everyone. Grab a drink. And you can move your chair away. Done with the chair. We're not even going to bow to it. How rude. Okay, from here, sitting down, left leg out, right leg over the top, and just your torso. So today we all did 50 push-ups. That was pretty awesome. Bit of work on creativity, putting things together. Some work on footwork. Shadow sparring works even if you haven't got a partner. You can use a chair or something else just to get your movement going. Good work. Remember that project for those of you who don't have exams coming up, or those of you that do and want a bit of a break. I want a project from you researching your pattern history, and then create for me a poster or a picture or a written summary with some photographs or some drawings in it, or a video or a model or diorama, something to describe, to illustrate what you've learned about the history of the pattern that you've learned. Your starting point for your Google, of course, is the pattern history that's in your syllabus handbook. Let's see how creative everyone can be. And change sides. Those of us who, of course, are not on holiday, adults, that's, you got work to do. Particularly for our school-age children, something to do on the holidays. And please email me your document, your PDF or photographs. I look forward to seeing what you come up with over the next week. Tavisha, you've already Googled all about Dungun, haven't you? So, you got a good head start. And both legs out the front. Black stripes, raise your hands. Wow, you guys are so lucky. You've got Yisun Shin, Chung Mu. Man, that man was amazing. Hands up. You will learn some incredible things about Yisun Shin in your research.
Sir,
incredible man. Yes, Tavisha.
I actually just searched up what Dungun means on Google and it came up with some French thing.
Oh, okay. You might have to try and do a little bit more research. Try Dungun Korea. Make sure you're spelling it correctly. D-A-N-G-U-N.
Also, I believe done is very similar to French for the French word don, which is like for, I think, or in. Can't remember which one.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You'll find stuff though. Check your Google food. If you do Dungun Taekwondo, you won't get a French result. And heels in. Gently push them down on the knees. And legs apart. Stretch up nice and tall. And go down to one leg. Side of your body onto your leg. And sitting out nice and tall. Other side. Try and keep your hands together when you do the stretch. Just feel a stretch on the side of your body as well as in your hamstring. Relax. Breathe nice and deeply. Sitting up nice and tall. Down to the center. So I'm going to open up briefly for questions at the end of class. Another thing I'd like everybody to do actually before next class is read through the fundamental movements in your syllabus handbook and make sure you know all of your grades fundamental movements and below, of course. And if there's any you don't know, be prepared to ask about them next class. Okay, so just look through the compulsory techniques for your current grade and below, and make sure you know what all of them are, and just come to the next class armed with any you're unsure of. Sitting up, legs back, give them a bit of a shake. Standing up, left leg behind. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of variety tonight. I'm trying to come up with things to make class a little bit different. Over the next couple of classes, I'll try and do a bit of a mix of some new stuff and some repetition of stuff that we're working on, like the patterns and step sparring. And change. After class, you can practice folding your uniform. So take your uniform off and see whether you can remember how to fold it. Remember to fold your trousers in 3, put them on top of your jacket, fold the jacket over the trousers, and then fold it in half. The instructions, by the way, for folding a dobok are in your white belt handbook. If you've got the new white belt handbook, it has that and a whole lot of other useful information. Or it's in the condensed encyclopedia. And give your legs a shake. Turn to the left and tidy up. As I say, after class, I'll hang around for a minute or two if you've got any questions about movements from your patterns or your syllabus, or any technical questions, feel free to hang around for a couple of minutes and ask those. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing your projects and to seeing you next week. Have a great weekend, guys. Tudor. Come Take one. Huzzah. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.